In this video, Joel Salatin talks about his best management practices out in the field of his Polyface Farm in Virginia. We were very fortunate to be able to hear his best talk in the world upon the subject.
Okay, when you realize that every click in organic matter, every 1%, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, every click of 1% organic matter, that holds an extra 20,000 gallons of water per acre.
Wow.
So we've gone 7 clicks. That's 140,000 gallons per acre that we can now hold that we couldn't in 1961. Times 100 acres is 14 million gallons. I mean, the numbers add up pretty fast. So imagine if the whole state did that, if the whole country did that. So suddenly you start talking about water problems, potable water and flooding and all that stuff. You start realizing it all comes down. Yes, it makes news of the day, but it all comes down to how we manage our land. And so there is a way to manage it, the way the bison, this is exactly the way the wolves, the bison, and the fire, the Native Americans managed bison. We don't have bison today, we don't have wolves today, we don't have fire. If we come out here and start fire, you should come out and put the fire out. We don't have those ancient tools. We have the new technology that we can mimic those same principles that made the United States actually produce more food 500 years ago than we do today with John Deere hybrids and chemicals. Now, it wasn't eaten by people. We had 200 million beavers. They were eating more salad, they were eating more vegetables than the entire U.S. population today. Some of them were as big as a Volkswagen automobile. There were some big beavers around. Okay, we had 200 million bison. We had 2 million wolves, each of whom needed 20 pounds of meat a day. You know, the ultimate keto paleo diet. You know? So you know, it wasn't all eaten by people, but it was massive amounts. I mean, Audubon sat under a tree in 1800. He wrote in his diary, said, "I've been sitting under this tree for 3 days and have yet to see the sun because the flock of birds flying over is so dense and so big. I haven't seen the sun for 3 days." So it's hard for us to wrap our heads around the degree of abundance that nature wants to provide. And so often we have this idea that nature's this you know, reluctant partner that we have to, you know, get in a half Nelson and, I'm going to make you do this, I'm going to make you produce, I'm going to make you, you know. When actually nature is a benevolent lover that just wants to be caressed. That's a very different way of looking at our ecological womb. But it's a much more productive and abundant way. All right, a couple questions, then we're going to go on. Any questions about this?
How many?
Yes.
It takes about 80 days for this grass to look like that too, you said? Or?
The time to recover is completely dependent on time of year, fertility, rainfall, all those kinds of things. I mean, if it's in the winter, it doesn't recuperate until spring. Okay, so the recuperation time has everything to do with the local context. I will tell you that this is the 3rd grazing this year. Okay. Now, the first time we came in, it wasn't like that. It was a lot shorter, and we had much bigger paddocks, moved them real fast, okay? But I'm just telling you, this is the 3rd time we've grazed this year. And so we call this, you ready for this? We call this mob stocking, herbivorous solar conversion, lignified carbon sequestration, fertilization. Okay? That's what we call it. And that is ultimately the way you build organic matter, you build soil, and you sequester carbon. Because when I talked about that 1% to 8.2, that's carbon. That's what that is. That organic matter is carbon. Okay, so we talk about carbon sequestration. We got every kind of highfalutin, crazy Rube Goldberg idea floating around out there about climate change and CO2 in the atmosphere and everything. The most efficacious way to do it is to go to perennial grasses with mob stocking, herbivorous, solar conversion, lignified carbon sequestration, fertilization. So you didn't have to do it again. and that would move us in 10 years. We could move back to pre-1960 CO2 levels in the atmosphere.
Wow.
I mean, that's how possible this is. It's not that difficult. One more question and we'll go. Yes.
How do you manage these guys in the winter?
In the winter? All right, we're gonna get to that momentarily because we're gonna stop by the hay shed. Okay. Yes.
How do you identify the food that's everyone? Shelley mentioned the marketing and the terms, and how do we identify food that's been taken care of this way?
How do you identify food that's been taken care of this way? Doing what you're doing today. And that's why I salute and honor that you're here, because you are on that tiny little cusp of people who are investing time, money, passion in finding out. And when people say, well, what's the weak link? What's holding everybody back? What's holding everybody back is inertia. The easiest thing to do in the world is just do what you've been doing, right? The hardest thing in the world is to do something different. You guys have just done something really different. When you go back to your places of wherever you're living, whatever you're doing, 9 out of the 10 people you meet will not have done what you've just done.
Right.
But the day they do, McDonald's will go bankrupt.
Wow.
And we will know that we have begun making big changes in our culture.
Yes.
And the answer, by the way, is not fake meat.
Right.
Yeah.
The answer is the real deal done right.
Right.
Okay? It's not throw out the real deal and make something fake. It's doing the real deal correctly. Okay. All right, let's jump on the wagons. We'll go down and see the pig.
I'm a